What's up, people? What is up? I'm not doing an intro because I don't need the. It's for content sharing purposes as well. It makes it easy to share. I handle that on the editing, but just wanted to say what's up to everybody and welcome to Code Talk. And before I get going, man, let me go ahead and give a shout out to my sponsor, and say what's up to Miss Leah McGee. With State Farm. Check out McGeeforme.com. She can really set you straight when it comes down to how to leverage life insurance policies to protect you and your family and your financial wealth and set you up for the future. I will be bringing this up again at the end just in case you didn't catch it at the beginning. So, McGee for Me, State Farm. You see all the info right there, 254-634-9600. And she's a sponsor of Code Talk, this podcast, and she's been a great friend as well. So, uh, moving forward, McGeeforme.com. All right. So today I was trying to figure out what direction I wanted to go in. I've been not necessarily running out of talking points or topics and like there's always something to discuss. You guys know very well what this platform is about at this stage, and I don't think I have to overstate that. I know people get it. I know people get it. I know that you know the people that I have been engaged with in terms of like discussion, long term talks, and just regular, uh, you know, talking about life stuff. We all know what we want for each other, and we're willing to go the distance to get it. Who isn't at this stage in their life? So, what's really important is about you know approaching it from a healthy perspective. We all is just trying to redo life the way we were taught and trying to add our little spin to it, you know. And so in that discovery, you can end up being too hard on yourself. Yep, too hard on yourself. And sometimes it's a fine line between being hard on yourself and being mean to yourself. And and that's what I learned in my last session with my therapist, right? I just talked to y'all really about what I have to go talk to my therapist about, you know, when I have my monologues and I tie that to what I'm doing because I try to give the best understanding of why I do what I do as I go. So it's happening, real time. Because this is men's mental health awareness month. And it's kind of like if you're not really doing any type of self care mentally, or what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And if all months there should be a reason to do it, this has to be it. So doing the due diligence, you know what I'm saying, and doing self examination and reflection, all of the stuff that kind of goes with that. You know, sometimes we just too hard on ourselves, man, and sometimes we don't know that there's a line in between that as well. Greetings, Uncle Junior. Greetings. We appreciate you and how you always show up. You know what I'm saying? I got to do better by getting over to your other platform. Uh, I know you don't take it personally. None of us do because we know we all got something going on, but we can all do better, right? So yeah, man. So buy my book. My dog buys my books. Hey, before we even go any further, you see right over here on my right shoulder, man. You see the badge. Go get the book. You see the man. Look, we got the hat too. You know what I'm saying? We got some merch over here. You see the. It's not just something to do. It's not just something to do. This is what it's about. This is about branding. This is about communicating a solid message. This is about trying to build a healthy um, community. You know, if you want to be successful at something, you got to have community. Yeah, you could do some things by yourself for sure. Nobody's about to argue that and contest that. But it just goes so much further. It's different. You know what I'm saying? When it's lined up for the right reasons. So I just try to do the do the work that goes along with what I want to see, what I want my outcomes to be, you know. And in that, you have to go get readjusted. People go to the chiropractor to get readjusted, to get their body adjusted. People go to the dentist to get their teeth adjusted, especially if they got braces. People go to mechanics to go get their cars adjusted because it might be pulling to the left or pulling to the right. We all need adjustment. And within that, what I've learned is that sometimes you got to make an adjustment that because you're too hard on yourself, you know? And the adjustment is you going from how you're thinking about yourself in the present to what you want as an outcome in the future. You know what I'm saying? And we waiting on Antoine to show up. You know what I'm saying? Because I was running a little bit behind today. It wasn't his fault. I was, but I'm probably gonna let him take the blame anyway. But nah, I sent him the link though. He got the access to it. He'll jump on in a minute. You know what I'm saying? But today's show is about not being hard on yourself though. You know what I'm saying? I was running behind, but I'm here, and I made the deliberate effort to be here week to week because I care about doing this. I care about um, pushing what I feel is important. Can't nobody do it but me. You know, because I'm the one that wants this certain outcome. So I can't make anybody else responsible for that. So whatever I get here is when I get here, but I try to be here. Some things it's outside of my control, just like anybody else. So I'm not gonna beat myself up for not being there on time. You know what I'm saying? And with people like Uncle Junior, you know what I'm saying, they can help me uh, buy some time, help me sandbag a little bit. I appreciate him, you know what I'm saying? The only way you can make adjustments is identify an area that needs to be adjusted. Yep. And I think all of us know that there's an area where we need the most adjustment. It's the thing that we the most insecure. That's what I believe insecurities are. You know what I'm saying? It's like the areas where we need the most adjustment. And it's not the superficial stuff that people try to make it out to be. It's not as complex as we want it to be. It can be, but if you want to solve the problem, that's a different way of looking at it. But whatever your biggest situation is, you know what I'm saying, that's where you're gonna need the adjustment at. So that's where you're probably gonna be the most or the least secure because that's the thing that you don't have the answers in, or you meet the most friction in, and we have to find a way to make that conversation easier to have amongst each other. And more than likely, there's somebody that can solve the problem that you think, the thing that you think is a problem. It's just a puzzle that you hadn't solved yet. So when when we start looking at like what's important and what isn't, and trying to distinguish it from each other, um, it gets very, very, very dicey. You know what I'm saying? Because when you start dabbling in people's insecurities, you don't know if they want solutions or do they want attention. Some people just want attention. Yep. Being insecure is an identifier of an area that needs to be adjusted because once it's taken care of and it's no longer a problem, then you don't have concern associated with it. So when we get down into the details of how do we overcome the insecurities that makes that makes our life a little bit more complex than necessary, then we start having real discussions about that. Yeah, we all got problems. We all got an evolving world that we're working off of, and we we have to be more mindful that we're not the only ones with the same issues at all. You know, there's just no way we can't be out here being in like in the same cloud without experiencing the same weather. That's the way I looked at it today, and today is no different. You know, we are responsible for how we react to things, and we are responsible for and part of reacting to things properly is accepting what we can and cannot change. So when we get to this point of the discussion, this is how we need to um, perceive these faults that we deem to be insecurities. You know what I'm saying? And the faults are just really a situation we haven't crossed yet, and we just don't have all of the information. And that's why we got to reach out, have community like so, and and really just work with each other to help solve problems. You know what I'm saying? And allow somebody to come in and make the adjustments. So if you don't, you end up in situations that go beyond recovery, situations that go beyond comprehension, and nobody can help you past a certain point. So we gotta quit being hard on ourselves. Hold yourself accountable, and distinguishing that from being hard on yourself is a task. It's not easy because some ways you're gonna feel like you deserve whatever you're dealing with. If you functioning from a place where you're taking accountability of your behavior and things like that. But if you think it's everybody else's fault every time you get in a situation, that's going to be difficult to have the same outcome and conversation that you want to have, and that has to be like taken into consideration also because you want to do it the right way. You want to do it the right way. You can't um, expect you can't expect the same outcomes if you're not willing to do the work and accept the the fact that you don't have all of the answers. And that's when you got to ask for help. And I think a lot of folks, I've had to ask for help recently in different areas. I know where I want to go with things. And I know it's going to take somebody that with a different skill set than me to make some of the things I want to occur to happen. So realizing that you can't do it all is very, very key to um, absolving yourself from being hard on yourself. Because when my therapist talked about being mean to yourself, I didn't really see that, and it kind of put another uh, barrier in there for me to be like, you know what, man, I could do better, but I don't have to be, what I'm saying, so strict on some things, and it kind of released me from a lot of what I was experiencing individually. And so when I start seeing, um, yeah, which accountable masculinity rule does today's topic fall under? That is a very, very good question. And the the rule that it falls under a couple of them. Rule number one is about men focusing on themselves. This is what the men's mental health conversation is about, men focusing on what's important to men's mental health. And then the not being hard on yourself part also falls underneath rule number four, legacy and equity. And with number four and number um, rule number what's the word I'm about to say? Rule number one and rule number four. I'm gonna put up all one real quick. Technical issue. Hang on. Okay. So I'm gonna put up rule number one. Men focus on men, as in self. Establish personal accountability standards amongst reasonable men that intend to improve our society. create solutions for the benefit of our society by only discussing tangible outcomes based on our skills and networks. So if you don't have a solution, then keep it to yourself until we can actually use what you're talking about. This is very key. Men need to be solution oriented in order to be useful. Nobody wants to deal with men that don't have solutions, that only bring problems to the discussion. We need to be solution oriented because that's what our value is in the social contract. That's at a minimum what we're responsible for. Not everybody's going to be a husband. Not everybody's going to be a father. Not everybody is going to be a leader. And all men are not leaders. But at a minimum, men still have to mind their business in an effective way that keeps things more efficient and less chaotic. So it's about knowing your role, man. You got to know your role. So so rule number one is about what today is also, and then this is the other one. Rule number three: decentralized leadership. Actually, no, not just four. It is three and four today. So number four is the other one I brought up: legacy and equity. You got to live a life of service towards your community and others. You must be credible and capable of both mentoring and being mentored. You must be receptive and coachable. Being able to instill knowledge and wisdom into others is an act of submission and a privilege. What does that mean? And how it does it pertain to the accountable masculinity rule and the not being hard on yourself? Everybody needed a mentor at some point in their life. Everybody needed somebody to tell them what to do. And the other half of that is not just knowing and accepting it, you know what I'm saying, but the maturity of it will allow you to be able to appreciate it. And then once you can see both sides, you are more inclined to go help people. You are more inclined to be like, you know what? Somebody did this for me, and I need to do this for somebody else. So don't be hard on yourself unnecessarily, you know. And without further ado, who always shows up right on time, right as I continue my and finish my monologue. Y'all already know what it is. He already smiling backstage. He he don't he don't need even need an introduction. I'm just gonna put him up here on the stage. Here you go. Y'all know who it is.
Man, I
What,
miss my big today.
what's going on, man? How you
What's
doing?
up, man?
Not much, man. Like what you got going on?
Man, I was busy today. Sorry about that. A little bit
Don't
of technical.
apologize. Hey man, I was let me tell you, today's topic is don't be hard on yourself. So I
Oh,
need
really?
yes, that's today's topic because I thought about it when I went to like my last therapy session. There's a difference between being hard on yourself and being mean to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So like we do this weekly. You've already demonstrated, you know what I'm saying, like your commitment to the platform and the topic and everything that it represents. So like yeah, we try to get here on time, and some things don't work out because man, you in California and I'm in Texas. Is we had one week where I had like a weather situation where we had like a whole tornado and things going on, and
Oh, really?
yeah, like you remember that session I was trying to get on and we kept timing out because of weather. My internet
I didn't
connection
know
was
that.
yeah, we had like a tornado situation last month, but needless to say, that doesn't impact like what we're trying to do. Like in the discussions that we have, whatever. So you know you gotta give yourself the same grace that you would ask for if you made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the punishment, like the beating yourself down, and you know what I'm saying. Like, we talk about forgiving yourself, but I think that's kind of in there too. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think a lot of people at their source of discontent and disrespect for every because you've been talking about disrespect. I think a lot of people are so hard on themselves that it allows them or it enables them to be hard on other people unnecessarily. Because if you can only give someone what you think they deserve because it's how you would treat yourself, because it's how you would feel you deserve. Because
Right.
like why would you can't wish something on someone that you don't think that you uh could potentially be subject to, you know.
Right.
So that's kind of my thoughts on that. So yeah, we got to stop being. We got no difference between being hard on yourself and being mean to yourself. And I
Well, you
think a
got to
lot
be
of
hard on yourself if you want to achieve in life, right?
yeah, you definitely do because I mean and that's my point. It's like instinctively, if you're working towards a goal and you committed to it, and you get up and you chip away at it a little bit every day, you're already being harder on yourself than what it anybody else. You can't be harder on me than I am on myself. I can't be harder on you than you already are on yourself because you know what your vision is tied to, right?
Right.
But the thing is, if you don't get what you want based on your work, or well, let's just say your work is great, but the expectations of where you want your work to go, that shouldn't discredit the quality of whatever it is that you're producing. It's just about expecting the timing to sync up with the effort that you put in. Does that make sense?
No,
Okay.
I think if okay, you explain it. I'm gonna say it. Go say it one more time. Maybe I misunderstood something.
Okay. Antoine's in his studio. He's got this painting. It's one of his best. It's his best work. It's a tradition. It's another masterpiece, right?
I do
Um.
tend to produce those.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So like you got another masterpiece added to the portfolio. Now, I would think that
Like the writing.
the the art that you work on, your expectations for how it's digested has changed over time. You know what I'm saying? Because like
Yeah.
just because you did your best work doesn't mean somebody's ready to buy it right away. You
Okay.
you now if you put it in a certain arena for it to get bought, your expectations are different. Like if you go into an actual auction or something, right? You expect to sell, you know what I'm saying, what you're going to sell, right?
Right.
But if you don't put it in visible view, it doesn't get any attention. But then there's probably times where you've had a private meeting with somebody and they saw your art and they wanted to buy it in person, right?
Right. Right.
So you didn't expect to sell it then either, but you sold it, you know. So there's times where like even your best work where the timing isn't there
Right.
and it's not to your expectations. Not that the work isn't quality. It's not. It's got to be the right person, the right buyer, the right. It's got to be the right client. So I think in the creative space, we run into a lot of. I think there's a lot of self. Uh, I think we kind of hard on ourselves in ways that we probably shouldn't be because we haven't experienced the gratification of the product being purchased when we want it.
If anything, I think I should. I don't think I'm hard enough on myself, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I
But you're
really
not
don't
mean.
think.
But have you ever experienced being mean to yourself?
Yeah. I've been. Yeah, I've been mean. I've been mean. No, mean to myself in a sense that I've been overly hard on myself. In a sense, wait, I want to take that back. I think that okay, I'll equate it this way. I don't think that when I should have forgiven myself, I didn't, and I was mean because I just couldn't forgive myself for making the mistakes I made, and I was hard on myself with that shit. And yeah, I just wasn't. It wasn't the right thing to do, and I was very, very hard on myself, man. And I think
Yeah,
that it taught me a very valuable lesson. But a lot of the lessons that I've learned, I think in a way have made me jaded. I'm jaded in a lot of ways. Like I'm jaded in a lot of ways towards things.
yeah,
Yeah, the route that I took at least.
yeah. Is it a mixture of like how much does regret play into it? Because like regret
I
is
don't
something
really
that
have. I've outgrown regret at my age. I don't have any more regret. At this point, I just call myself stupid when I make a mistake. But I don't have any regret because all my mistakes led me to where I am now. I learned
Yeah,
that one too. You know what I mean? I don't have any regret. I could have. I don't, and that's why I don't live my life with I coulda, woulda, shoulda. I said what I said. I meant it, and whatever the outcomes is, I hold myself accountable for it.
yeah.
That's the age I'm at now. You know what I mean? That's what that's what I don't give an F means to me right now. Like there's nothing I could do to change the past, and I can't drive a car looking in the rearview mirror. So it is what
Yeah.
it is. You know what I mean? I don't. You know, am I sorry that am I sorry for some of the people that I've hurt along the way? Yes. Do I regret it? No,
Right.
because at the time I did it, it was the reason I did it.
There's a
And
reason
in
you did it.
hindsight, everything looks better in hindsight.
Like you just can't have, like what you can't have what you're supposed to have
Yeah.
without trading something to get it.
Like I said, if you're not ready to make a sacrifice, don't come over here.
Mhm.
Don't come over. You ask any successful man, if you don't want to make a sacrifice, don't expect to be that man and don't expect to walk his shoes. You will never be a success without breaking a few eggs and hurting someone.
Man,
And you
there's
ain't taking everybody with you. So you better be ready to cut. You better be ready to see who's getting on the boat and who's not. That's the fact. And you will never make it. Why? Because that means you don't have the decisive decisions to cut things loose when they're weighing you down. And money, when you're up there and a lot of people are tugging at you for your money, you better know who to cut off.
man. I did a live yesterday. You know what I'm saying, for a story that I'm gonna run in a little bit. Because I want to get your what I'm saying, your take on it because
How come I don't get notifications with your live? Do you do it on YouTube?
no, I did it. It was impromptu, man. I didn't even have a
Oh, okay,
schedule.
okay. But
Like
shouldn't
it
I be
was.
able to get a notification on that?
Yeah, you should. Um,
Is
but
it on Facebook? Like, what do I look for? I
I
always put
think
you on when I'm in the morning, like for your show, and yeah.
I think you might need to hit those three dots and hit like follow or and add me to a
I
favorite and
follow everything on you,
then
bro.
turn on
Yeah,
notification. Yeah, at least on
follow
Facebook.
it. I'm gonna double check that because I follow everything with you.
Yeah,
All right,
we'll look. Yeah, we'll look into it. But
yeah,
there was a so we're talking about being hard on yourself, being mean to yourself, and I always think about like the pros and cons of it. The pros of it is that it demonstrates a level of self-awareness that that you can improve. You know that you're either going in the right direction. You got to be able to encourage self. You know, you have to be able to say, you know, you made some kind of progress, or at least you got a benchmark somewhere. Because I feel, you probably feel like I do sometimes, man. I feel like I'm a little stagnant, um, but I know I'm not because I'm answering emails. You know what I'm saying, for opportunities. I'm completing work. Like, excuse me, like I've been working on my next book, and how I wanted to like put it together, and the vision of it is still along the same lines. It's kind of like a next version of what accountable masculinity is and who I wanted to aim it at. And then when I figured out where I wanted to aim it, then everything started to make sense in terms of what I
right,
was doing. So, like having an idea and then getting that idea into the framework of where it's supposed to be so you can complete it is
okay,
it's half the battle, is it not? Like you already know, like I gotta paint something, right? Or
right,
then you get the stroke of genius, and then there's the color. Then
right,
you know where it's gonna go because after you get the color, that probably decides something, or something like you get the whatever vision you get, you know what color is supposed to be, you know,
right,
and you might have to do 3 or 4 different paintings. I'd imagine, you know what I'm saying? Correct me if I'm wrong. You might have to paint 3 or 4 different things to get all of the vision of it out because you probably can't get it all on one canvas.
right.
But all of the visions of it are important. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how writing is for me. You know what I'm saying? I use words to explain the same thing that you would use a paintbrush to do. And sometimes it becomes a theme.
Right.
That's kind of like, like from this podcast to the books I've written to the conversations we had, what I'm saying, both on camera and off and via text message, the ideas we share. The conversation paints the picture, what I'm saying, the more you stay in tune with the topic. And in that, you're not afforded to be hard on yourself because you're building something in flight. But then you got people that are on the undisciplined side of things that do the same thing, but they don't have the same goal with their behavior and their activities. You know what I'm saying? They use their most creative uh, attributes of their character to go do something that causes a lot more friction for other people's lives. You know what I'm saying? And then when they're hard on themselves, they hurt other people in the process because you've seen like when people are hard on themselves to the point where it
Yeah, your
drives
anger
them
rubs
into,
off. That's true. Your anger rubs off.
yes, your anger rubs off,
Yeah,
and
it does.
then
It really does.
then you start hurting the people that's in your environment like on a regular basis to the point where you I realized that in being hard on yourself, it's it's shame. It's a form of shame. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's you giving yourself what you think you deserve. But that's what disciplined people do.
Right.
Undisciplined people give their shame to everyone else,
Right.
and they hurt people close to them with it. They make other people pay for their shame. You know what I'm saying? And that was like a huge revelation for me because I'm gonna play a video shortly. You know what I'm saying? That captures what I'm saying because I went live yesterday and I did this video. I did a short run on it. I was like, man, me and Antoine can talk about this. So hang on a second. What I'm gonna
All
do
right.
is um, get this screen shared up. I know you like when we do clips, so I figured this would be very good for my teammate up here. So I'm gonna let this run and let you check it out.
The only thing this guy missing is a bull ring.
Here you go. Cut it out, man. Here we go.
I'm sorry, I couldn't read it.
In this world, y'all hear about that black guy, Javante Bryce?
I gotta raise it up. Is it me or the
Like,
volume?
they went on a rampage. He killed his mama. He killed his baby mama.
You having a
He
volume
killed
issue?
his girlfriend.
I can't hear too well, but I'm hearing something.
Let me see here. Let me try this over here. Try to let me make sure I got the right settings on it too.
It was just very low. Mine things are pretty loud. I can hear you great. It sounded like
Okay.
it was coming through your mic.
Yeah, hang on a second, because what I think it is a low recording. I think the volume's gonna pick up once he finishes
Oh,
talking.
okay.
He was talking in advance, but before we go, I just
I
want to
like
make
the
sure I
red
had
and the white graphics though. That's really cool. Nice, very nice.
yeah. You like that,
Yep, very much so.
man? Let's see here. All right, let's let it play, and it'll get to the story shortly. I'm gonna just fast forward to this part right here. All right.
And the guy's mother that he shot, cold blood. Stories coming out.
Morning with a developing situation happening in Manatee County. Three women are dead after a man went on a killing spree. It all started around 9 o'clock last night. It first started with a shooting at a Motel 6 on 67th Street Circle East in Bradenton. Deputies say when they got there, they found a 48-year-old woman dead. Deputies say witnesses told them the suspect, Javante Bryce, shot his mother and then left the area. And then later that night, deputies were sent to another shooting on 26th Street Court East in Palmetto. They say a 29-year-old woman had been shot and killed while sitting inside a parked SUV. Witnesses identified Bryce as the shooter in that one as well. And while investigating both of those cases, deputies received information about another shooting, this one in Bradenton. Police learned the same suspect shot and killed a woman before leaving that area. Multiple law enforcement agencies tracked Bryce to Hamilton County, where he was shot and killed by deputies after shooting at them. Manatee County homicide detectives learned that Bryce was on his way to Georgia with the intent to kill another person. Multiple investigations are ongoing.
How terrible is that?
Man, huh. I got another video before we
My
discuss.
goodness, boy.
Yeah. Before we discuss that though, like there's one more video that gives more context to it as well. You know what I'm saying? And put it in perspective, and then I'll let you you know what I'm saying, talk about it as you see another second. So let's see here. Let me get the screen up. Boom. All right. So this is another social media post that is pertaining to this same event we just watched. Okay.
Update. So it has been confirmed that Javante Scooter Bryce had been DL. His baby mother found out, and that's when Scooter proceeded to go on his rampage and shoot and kill his 48-year-old mother at a Motel 6. He then proceeded to shoot and kill his cousin Koya Bryce, who was in her vehicle at the time, and she died on the scene. Then he proceeded to shoot Pig, who was pregnant with his child at the time, and she later died at the hospital. My condolences goes out to the families of those beautiful women. It is so tragic. Like, it's really getting scary out here. And it's like, if you know that you are in the closet, live in your truth, because this is unacceptable.
That's why I had to show you both videos, man. Like,
Two different guys?
no, that's the same guy.
So because he was gay, he shot and they found out he shot everybody?
That's what's been seen on social media to this point.
So he was in the closet, got discovered, and because he got discovered, he was afraid they'd probably tell them people, including the baby mama, and then he was like, nah, nobody's gonna know until I'm ready to let them know. And they said, let me shoot everybody.
That's how I interpret it.
Oh my goodness, boy. Oh my,
That's heavy, right?
that is the saddest thing. I just can't believe the man is that much of an idiot. Oh my, talk about
And now,
thinking
now,
with the wrong head. Jesus Christmas, boy.
what what
Oh boy, man.
what rule
What a waste of life.
what rule does that fall underneath?
That's so beyond undisciplined. That's not even raised. That's just a monster. Not even raised.
What's the rule first though? But you need to know the rule for
The rule?
yeah. Which rule is that? You know, there's 5 rules to accountable masculinity. So
Oh man, you got to read them all to me because I forget. But I can tell you one thing: you ain't even close to accountability on that one.
Well,
Go ahead.
Rule number one is men focus on themselves. Okay. Rule number 2 is men don't argue with women. Rule number 3 is decentralized leadership. You know, like knowing when to lead and when to follow. Right. Rule number 4 is legacy and equity. Everything you do counts. Rule number 5, sexual discipline.
That's sexual discipline.
Bingo.
That's sexual discipline. That is
Sexually
so sad. That didn't even need to happen, and nobody probably even cared that he was gay. Well, you know what? I take that back because in the hood they could really, yes, in the hood they could, I think like people that are not developed mentally will make fun of that.
Yeah.
People that are not developed mentally will make fun of him. I think he was in the wrong environment because if my friend came out tomorrow and told me he would, I'd say like, bro, that's just something that's your business in the bedroom. But I appreciate you letting me know. How about that? But it wouldn't be anything that impact my life. It wouldn't be anything I'd make fun of. I'd go about my business. I'd probably ask him like, why do you feel the need to tell me?
Yeah.
I'd probably ask him that.
I Out
Do
of
you need to
respect.
tell somebody? Do you need me to be your the shoulder that you need to escape and get it out of your head so you don't go off crazy and something? Like, why do you
Man,
need to tell me?
there's a lot of things that people can pick and choose about where they want to draw the line at, and everybody reserves the right to care about what they care about, you know. But like I think when once we cross that threshold where you got to start deleting people and unaliving people and just, you know what I'm saying, like going on a delete spree, then
But Vic,
it gets
that's why.
crazy.
But that's why, Vic. That's why, man. That's why I don't make fun of people. I don't point the finger. These guys are freaking crazy, man. I'm gonna live to fight another day. Call me a simp. Call me what you. I am good. I got a
Straight.
lot more to lose than you, bro.
Yeah.
I got
Well,
a lot.
you know what, Antoine? I don't even say that anymore. I care about what I'm meant to do more than being in a tussle with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's just it. Because like I don't want to make it sound like that person has nothing to live for. You know what I'm
He
saying?
didn't have nothing to live for.
Now,
Absolutely. Don't even insult me by saying that because I got
yeah,
shit to live for. That
I
nigga had
can't say
nothing to live for. He had
that.
nothing to live for.
Yeah,
You know what he had to live
because
for? Himself. Because if he would have thought about other human beings, he would not even go down that path.
man, and look, this is what I did the live on yesterday for like about 8 minutes or so, right? I was thinking about it like I've been definitely waging a war of my own, you know what I'm saying, to to get people to really take into account that your individual behavior is dangerous. Everybody got to have safe self-control, right? When you start mixing your character and personality with other people, it changes you. You know what I'm saying? Because we impact each other. You know what I'm saying? Like every week we do this. Interacting with you makes me better. It makes me think about how I want to deliver my message. And hopefully I have a helpful impact on your life as well. You know what I'm
Exactly. This show has helped change me drastically. This podcast has changed me and my way of thinking drastically because I have an outlet that I needed before, anyways. Besides that.
saying? And you might not even know that you needed it. You didn't know how important it was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the thing is, the reason it's important is not because of what I offer, is what you are willing to contribute. Because that's why I kept talking so much about focus on the solution. Because any version of a solution is better than this. Like, if you're not thinking about a solution, you're thinking about chaos and destruction. You know what I'm saying? And so this is why, like, when I talk about sexual discipline so much, is because what you do in your off time, if you're not solving problems, right? If you're not being useful, which rule number one, men should focus on themselves, right?
Yep.
And keeping it in theme. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. Also, men
Wouldn't
got to. You
that
see how
come?
all of this.
Is there a thing? Is
You
there a
see.
thing?
You see how all of this
Is
is
that
in
real?
bullshit.
Is that
It's
real?
that's true. Yeah, like it's
Wait a
men's mental
minute.
health.
Are you serious? Is Mental Health Month?
Yes, it is. And the
When did
fact
that
that men
start?
June, but you know what's gotten more attention than
I
men's mental
thought
health
that was
month?
Juneteenth. Was June?
It's also Pride Month.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pride
See
Month
that?
and Men's Mental Health Month are in the same month. And so look at this story that I just showed you. A down low man goes on a
I hope this
delete
is not a
spree.
skit, man. I hope this is not a skit.
It's not a skit. That was the actual news. That's why I
Oh,
showed
okay,
you that
okay.
clip. Yeah, that report is official. So think about what we're talking about. Men's Mental Health Month, Pride Month, accountable masculinity with all of the rules and stuff, not being hard on yourself, not being mean to yourself, because this is what it looks like when you internalize all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because you've done something that's regretful, you know,
Right.
something that you're not at peace with, that you may feel other people's going to judge you about it, you know what I'm saying, some kind of way. Because, like, early on my monologue, I was talking about insecurities and where people need insecurities are just an area where you need an adjustment. You can fix that. You know what I'm saying? You can, there's always going to be some insecurity that only you are going to know about, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you don't have to but you have to deal with those as they present. You can't simulate every insecurity. You know what I'm saying? But imagine how a person that was willing to, you know, like take the lives of three women for some
I just
information.
the lack of man, the lack of the lack of respect for human life is at such a low. It's like, where did you learn that from? Such a lack of human life. Like, obviously, he has no father in his life because that's a given.
Yeah,
Um,
based on behavior,
yeah, so,
I see.
no, even with no, it's not. I don't. No, I refuse. And whatever his father is in his life is just as a picture. Um, but the lack of respect of how could you even? I mean, Jesus, that is so. I feel so bad for everybody involved in that family to lose some. And the girl, he didn't even have his own kid to live for because look, he shot her too.
You
Like, I
see,
mean,
yeah,
who raised this kid? Who raised this guy? Like, well, obviously, he shot the mother, so she didn't do it.
too soon. Wait,
Oh boy, that's hard. Oh boy, that's a laugh, but boy,
I gotta take
talk about
myself off
some
camera. Man. I'm
talk
glad to
about
leave
some fucking
else
karma, man.
that this is just absolute.
Like, where did he learn that from? Like, I'm on the DL and I'm gonna get a gun. I'm not even laughing at. I'm not even. I'm trying not to laugh at the. This may be come out so morbid right now because people say, "Oh my God, he's laughing at what happened. At what a tragic event." No,
I gotta
I'm not
wait.
laughing at that. I'm laughing at the lack of the lack of
The lack
care
of regard for human life.
for the regard for human life. And not even one that's born yet is unbelievable. Like, what did you think before you cops killed you? And I think he pointed his gun to shoot the cops because he wanted to die because there's no way
He
he's
wanted
living.
to die that way.
Yeah, there's no way he's living. There's no way he's living with himself after doing that. No way. He's not going in a box and he's not going to be in a jail cell. But
No way
that's
out.
why these women. That's why these women, and I'm saying women, really have to vet the man that they're with. They really, you really. That's why I said to you. That's why I said to you. If I get involved with a baby mama, I'm vetting the man more than I'm vetting her because I don't
As
want
you
this nigga
should.
coming after me. Like,
As
I'm
you should.
sorry, bro. You
Yep.
see what I mean? Because you have to think. If, let's just say he broke up with her, and now you taking care of her and her kid, and he has one of these episodes. You're dead. He's coming into your house and shooting you.
There's no in between.
There's no in between. If he could do that to his own mother, and let's just say if he will seriously tell her and mean it. If you get with another man, I'll kill you and him. He will probably say that and mean it.
Man, look, nobody is exempt if he could do that to three women in his own family.
And one didn't even care because it probably was his cousin or something.
This is his cousin, baby mother, and his mother.
And the baby that wasn't born.
Yep. Let's not leave that part out. So you know what I'm
Sorry.
saying?
Sorry.
Yeah, like we definitely can't leave that part out. I left it out too. I'm apologizing for it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that was it was very disturbing when I first
I'm
saw
hurt by
that.
that. I don't even know why that affected me so much. It's just that I want to just. I wish he was alive so he could be tortured. Put it that way.
Yeah, I mean,
He got off. He got off too easy. The cops shouldn't have killed him. They should have shot him in the leg, in the arm, crippled his ass.
and then think about the cops having to deal with that. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
you know
Like,
what? Like, hey, listen. You know me. I'm all for the cops, bro. I am all for the cops. I don't even. You don't even get me started on that route, bro. Because I'm
oh no,
all.
like
You
no,
pull me
but
over, I have no problem showing you anything. I will show you the proper authority. I will give you the proper respect you
you gonna
deserve.
handle it the safest way possible. You know?
Yep, because you carry in a gun, and I want to make it home for dinner.
And like and that you see how important the sexual discipline conversation is because This is the spiral. This is the conversation that happens when you operate without any type of sexual discipline. And there's a this is a whole story by itself when you look at it, right? We went from saying, you know, quit being hard on yourself to don't be mean to yourself. And this is what it looks like when you're so mean to yourself and you have regrets, like everything that we started off this conversation with, right? And you see how it was like, yeah, I've been hard on myself. I got some regrets, and like I could have done some things differently, but such is life, right? And then you accept it, and you take the disciplined approach, and you move on. You go back to painting the colors that what I'm saying, that tell the story that allows you to get it out. When you don't have an outlet outside of sex, this is what happens.
You gotta have a
This is
though, man.
Yeah, but people that are generally focused on sex as their outlet, they don't have a circle. They have an activity, and this is their activity. You know what I'm saying? This is the thing that they're passionate about. And you want to know why is passion involved? Because you have the ability to hate. And if you can hate yourself, you don't have any regard for nobody else. There's just no way possible.
And you can't live with yourself like that.
You can't live with yourself.
I don't even feel sorry for him. Like,
no,
I have no regard for that guy. Like, none, man. I mean,
there is no sorrow for a person like that. I'm gonna put you on the screen. I'm gonna let you monologue for a second. You all right with that?
Who, me?
Yeah, because I think you still dealing with that. Man, look, I have never seen you really like shook by anything. You know what I'm saying? So like,
no, I just.
It looked like you had more to say. That's what I was.
Listen, all I have to say is that women need to vet these guys that they're freaking breeding with, man. Like they need to vet these men. I don't understand what it is. I don't understand what it is with these black women that pick these freaking low-life scumbags of men. I don't even know how they get them to spread it, man. Like, these niggas should write a book. Because whatever they're telling you, and that book should go out, that book would be a bestseller. How do you... I don't believe you see no red flags. I refuse to believe that. This guy was an abuser. I'm sure he was an abuser. I'm sure he smacked her once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did. Because you can't just... If you're able to shoot somebody like that and more than one, I'm sure he smacked her. I'm sure she saw something. Like, what is it? Like, I feel like, how do you even get with a man like that? Are you that desperate for a man in your life? I believe these women out here are making babies so they can have a companion.
Man.
That's what I believe.
Oh, look. Oh, man. Like, talk about it, man. Let us.
I am 100% sure now that these women out here, these baby mamas out here, are making babies to have a companion, so they're not alone later on in their life. Because I refuse to believe it's easier to have a baby by an ass like that than to get married and do it right. And don't tell me you didn't. Don't tell me. Yes, men are tricksters, right? And I believe that we are, because we tell you what we want to hear in order to get what we want. I get that. I get that 100%. But I still wouldn't want to be tied with that man. I still wouldn't want to be tied with that man. I still would want to vet that person so well before I end up being with that person and have a child that bonds us. Like, there's no feeling that's good enough to take that mental image away from me. Like, even me at my age now, where I would love to have children, I still would go out of my way to vet the woman before she even steps through my front door, much less see my art. Unless she buys it.
I definitely...
what I mean?
Yeah, man, I'm with you. Because
you're breeding for a companion. You're breeding, you're selfish because you're not thinking of the well-being of the child after you have the child. Because you're not thinking of the child's future. You're thinking of your future now. I got my little boo. I'm comfortable. I'm taking care of somebody. Now someone loves me unconditionally. Hopefully he grows up to be a basketball or football player. So I'm good, right?
Mhm.
All while not thinking of what that child's going to suffer and go through without you being there. And
Mhm.
I just don't get it. I'm telling you, I truly believe now they're breeding for companionship. They're not breeding for the sake of having a baby, you know? And it's sad. And I think a lot of celebrities are signing off on it like it's okay. That's a freaking celebrity, for crying out loud. They
Yeah,
don't need
that
to
they
get
don't have.
married. They don't need to get married. They got a nanny for each kid, you know? While they're in the concert, that kid's in their trailer living better than you and I. You
Right,
know?
in a $1 million, multi-million-dollar
Yeah.
coach.
That kid
You
doesn't
know,
even know he's traveling.
no, like
And I just honestly feel that people are not. I think the people are losing it mentally now. I really feel that. I think this
so.
pandemic. I think this pandemic changed a lot of people, a lot of people's mentality. I really do, and I believe. I'm not even going to say nothing else about that, but I believe that people are really, and especially in the black community, man. Especially in the black community, you know what? We
How
deserve
do you
whatever
think
we
this
get. We
impacted?
deserve whatever we get. We deserve whatever. Don't ever ask where they get it from. Just don't ever ask me where they get it from. There's enough examples out there to show them. Just don't ever ask. Do me that favor. Don't ever ask. I don't even want you to say, "Well, they do it too." No, no. Let's stick to the topic. Let's stick to you and I. You know what I mean? Let's do that because that's disgusting to me. That is just disgusting. Ooh. Thank God I wasn't raised like that, boy. Lord have mercy. I can understand my father when he said, "Don't bring one home, boy." Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up probably playing it again because more people are starting to show up. But this is why it might seem repetitive when I talk about the same thing, but I'm trying to bring people's attention to what it looks like when you overlook the red flags.
But you
Because
see how
I
you said that? Not to cut you off, but you see how you said that? I don't think you sound repetitive at all because I think you get examples every damn day. So it's a new story. And the same story you told was the same story that happened yesterday. And the same story that
Yep,
happened yesterday. You're not repetitive. You're just repeating another story of another incident that's similar. That's all you're doing.
yep.
Of another
And
undisciplined, unsexual disciplined idiot. You know?
I don't. I'm telling you, man, literally drives people crazy.
Then you thinking with the wrong head because it ain't after that
It's
15 seconds of pleasure, then the real world begins. I don't know
I'm
about you.
I'm I'm really like noticing, not even noticing. I've seen this, what I'm saying, countless times. That's why I say what I say. But I'm trying to show people that people are literally driving themselves crazy over sex to the point where they're willing to hurt people. And it's always happened, but I don't know how if that discussion has been framed the way that I'm framing it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how well our conversations would go without the framework because there's some things that we assume about each other that are not rule like I don't think I would feel unsafe being around um Antoine. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think Antoine's gonna do anything wild over the attention of of a woman that could result in some sort of compromise to my personal safety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think Antoine is going to go so far as to create a dangerous situation unnecessarily for attention, what I'm saying, from the opposite sex. I don't think that. I don't think Antoine would do that for, what I'm saying, for anything personally. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there's a unique mindset in a person that will. And when you start seeing the outcomes, there's so many people that's out there that's gonna do this again too. You know what I'm saying? For the same reason that there's a profile for the people that like to conduct mass pow pows. You know what I'm saying? For the algorithm purposes. You know what I'm saying? You know what goes pow, and there was an incident in Arkansas. you know what I'm saying, pertaining to the same situation. I don't know what makes them snap either, you know. But the crimes of passion that that happen and occur and always have occurred, they're all directly tied to a lack of sexual discipline. And then when you start looking at what makes them undisciplined, they all got a similar profile. You know what I'm saying? Weak or no fathers, you know, raised by women and
But when does
similar
it
out.
end? When does it like? I mean, okay, I already given up on my generation because I know this.
I don't think it ends. Obviously, I'm not saying
I have,
that.
I have, I have, I have, I have faith. I just gotta have faith in the youth coming up, seeing all these videos of just the idiocy that's out there. I have to have faith in that, man.
I think that that's. I mean, the education has to come from experience. You know what I'm saying? I think the education has to come from people that care about. You know what I'm saying? A secure environment. Like I want an environment that I want to be safe in, and so I need to identify the problems that could happen in my life. You know what I'm saying? And when I look at the extremes or the examples of the problems that I could have, that's what these stories are for. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't move that way, and I'm glad I don't have friends that move that way. You know what
I
I'm saying?
wouldn't even entertain friends that move that way. Like,
Like, but
if you can't form a proper sentence, I ain't moving that way with you.
yeah,
I'm being
for
honest
real.
with you. I swear to God. I swear to
Yeah.
God. If you come up to me with all that, you know I'm saying shit. I'm like, bro, I have no fucking idea, and I don't want to know. It's okay. I'm good.
What's up, DD? Yes.
I'm real good. You know what I mean? Like you're
Shout
as
out.
good as the company you keep. And where am I gonna bring you? Like people
Yeah.
need to understand, man. You have to cut these people loose in your life. You have to cut them off. They're not serving you any purpose. You have to break a
Thank
few eggs. I'm sorry that person was your best friend growing up, but now you're grown up and you see how stupid he is or she is. And you got to cut them loose. How do you
and thank
expect
you.
to advance in life? You can't take them with you. They're only going to embarrass you. And yes, I'm better than them. I'm saying it. Yeah, I am. 100% I am. I am better than the guys I cut loose because I'm in a better place. And you know what I mean? It's called a leash for a reason. God damn. Like, just listen to that, man. You know, that's
Thank
somebody's
you.
daughter. That's somebody's mother. That I wonder if he had brothers
Oh
or
man,
sisters.
like I know that there's a lot more that's gonna come out about this.
We need to bring shame back. We need to bring shame back. We need to bring execution back. God damn, we need to bring that back. You know what I
Hey,
mean? After hearing stories like that, the death penalty is a pretty good thing. I'm kind of liking that now. The whole, I'm kind of liking that execution in town hall. I'm kind of liking that. You think I'm playing? I'm serious, man. This is ridiculous. You know?
yo, I think shame has always been present.
No,
I
we don't have that anymore in the community. Come on
well,
now. No. Don't even. We don't have shame in the community anymore. Those are gone.
I'm not.
We
Look, I'm
twerking
not.
in restaurants. We twerking in restaurants. We wearing bonnets in freaking Target. We wearing our slippers in the airport. We don't have no.
What?
Some of us, but the majority. No, we don't have shame anymore. You know we
I'm,
don't. You.
hey,
We know.
hey,
I
hey,
understand.
look,
I understand you're rooting for it. I'm like,
hey,
I understand you. You don't want to give it that, that blessing that. But we don't have shame. We don't have no
nah,
shame
man.
in the community. We have zero shame.
I
Shame
was
in the community is like a woman using birth control, non-existent.
yeah. You know what, man?
You gotta be kidding me! If you think we have shame in the community, we still have it left. What's left of the community? Are you kidding? The passport bros have started a new trend. They're flying somewhere. They don't even want to visit the community. They want to see it from the top of an airplane.
Man, look, dang.
You talking about? Man, when you said shame in the community, we always have shame. I'm laughing. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, you good. No, it got to throw in the chuckle. Man. Like, do you hear all of the laughter and stuff when I hit the buttons? Do you get that?
It's kind of low though, but I hear it.
I'm not sure why, but you know what I'm saying. Like, let me turn it up. See, this is that better?
Yeah, but does it sound like it's coming It doesn't sound like it's coming from your computer. It sounds like it's coming from a source.
From a source somewhere else. Okay,
Yes.
like I still got some technical difficulties I'm working out with this thing. So, you know, man, let me try it this way. Hang on.
I'm sorry, I cut you off when you started shaming the community.
It still sound like it's coming from a source.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got to work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I used to say, uh,
Go ahead.
like you put things in the context of sports, you can say whatever you want to say, right? So, in the college football fan, what I'm saying, community, I'm a huge Alabama fan, right? And so I get to talk crazy to fans of other teams because they're gonna say whatever they're gonna say about my team, whatever, right? And I used to tell my friends that are Auburn fans, I would say birds fly upside down to avoid taking a dump on y'all stadium. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of the way I hear what you're saying. That's why I started laughing about it because yeah, they people flying over the community. You know what I'm saying? You mess around and you know you get you get the wrong kid by the wrong person, and then some dude that's DL, you know what I'm saying, goes on a shooting spree. So we have to really look at the fact that that's how the lack of shame ties directly to the lack of sexual discipline. You know what I'm saying? Because once you take the shame off, people do everything in the open. You know what I'm saying? And then try to make you seem weird because you like privacy or you like modesty or something to that effect. But like it says a lot about your character. And I don't care what people say when they say, well, you can't judge a book by its cover. That's fine. I don't have to. You know what
I'm
I'm saying?
judging,
But like
period.
but everybody makes a judgment. Everybody makes
I
a
am
judgment.
judge. I have no problem judging. I
And
got.
in
I
fact,
get judged all the time, so I have no
yeah,
problem.
we all make judgments. We
Yep.
all do. We either judge for a healthy or unhealthy reason. That's just
Yep.
difference. You know what I'm
And there's
saying?
nothing wrong with it.
Yep, there's
There's
nothing wrong with
nothing
that
wrong with it.
because
I want to make that clear.
the red flags that were ignored in that situation was somebody, like you said, if you ignore a red flag, you made a judgment and then you ignored
Right.
it, and you didn't trust your gut. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, for the people that's just now getting here, I'm gonna play these videos again real quick so you guys can get caught up on what we're looking at, and like to say
That's
thank you for the people that show up. You know what I'm saying, when they had the time to commit. Appreciate you, Didi. You always hanging out and like
Hey,
being a
Didi.
support. You know, and she's always right where she needs to be when it comes down to supporting the Code Talk platform. And you know, she's never not been available. Like even
Good
when,
stuff. I like that. I like that.
yeah, yeah, man, I've known her for a long time, man. I think it's important to what I'm saying, bring attention to the people that deserve their flowers. So you know what I'm saying. So if y'all see Dee Red Temple, you know what I'm saying, on Facebook, you make sure you go follow her Facebook
We
page.
take accountability on this channel. We own
Yeah,
what we say.
yeah,
We own what we say on this
yeah.
channel.
You know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna run this video again just to bring back, what I'm saying, what we've been talking about because people showed up a little bit later, and you know what I'm saying, we're just gonna let it talk, and we're gonna come back to the conversation.
Morning with a developing situation happening in Manatee County. Three women are dead after a man went on a killing spree. It all started around 9 o'clock last night. It first started with a shooting at a Motel 6 on 67th Street Circle East in Bradenton. Deputies say when they got there, they found a 48-year-old woman dead. Deputies say witnesses told them the suspect, Javante Bryce, shot his mother and then left the area. And then later that night, deputies were sent to another shooting on 26th Street Court East in Palmetto. They say a 29-year-old woman had been shot and killed while sitting inside a parked SUV. Witnesses identified Bryce as the shooter in that one as well. And while investigating both of those cases, deputies received information about another shooting, this one in Bradenton. Police learned the same suspect shot and killed a woman before leaving that area. Multiple law enforcement agencies tracked Bryce to Hamilton County, where he was shot and killed by deputies after shooting at them. Manatee County homicide detectives learned that Bryce was on his way to Georgia with the intent to kill another person. Multiple investigations are ongoing.
Right. And
And you
For
sure
the
this is the update, huh?
Yep, that's the most current information that I saw.
No, the lady you're putting on right now.
Uh,
The one that
yeah,
said with the pic. You sure that's the same guy?
yeah, positive. Positive is the same guy. Yep,
Wow, man.
yep. And this one right here is what she currently is going to say.
48-year-old mother at a
Yeah.
Motel 6. Update. So it has been confirmed that Javante Scooter Bryce had been DL. His baby mother found out, and that's when Scooter proceeded to go on his rampage and shoot and kill his 48-year-old mother at a Motel 6. He then proceeded to shoot and kill his cousin Koya Bryce, who was in her vehicle at the time, and she died on the scene. Then he proceeded to shoot Pig, who was pregnant with his child at the time, and she later died at the hospital. My condolences goes out to the families of those beautiful women. It is so tragic. Like, it's really getting scary out here. And it's like, if you know that you are in the closet, live in your truth, because this is unacceptable.
So again, men's mental health month, and then we get this situation right here.
That's mental
And
health, all right.
like, and I'm telling you, the five laws, the five, what I'm saying, rules of accountable masculinity, and then every one of them, it hits every note. Men need to focus on themselves. You know what I'm saying? You need to be useful and not useless. You need a skill. You need an activity. You need to be helpful. You know what I'm saying? Remember we had the show on Elevated Dialogue when it said men need to have a skill,
Yep.
because we tried to figure out, like what men needed to work on in order to be better versions of themselves. And a man without a skill cannot create a better version of himself. Correct?
I think a man, but you know what's important is a man needs to find a mentor, man, to guide him because this is unacceptable. This is what happens when you don't have guidance. This is example of what you have when you don't have guidance and school isn't doing it because your school you're going to just wants you out of the classroom anyways. This is what it is to not have guidance in your life. Period. No, nobody's gonna tell me otherwise. There's nothing in here that screams guidance. Nothing, nothing, nothing. This is mental. I don't want to say mental illness, man. I don't want to say. I don't even think he was mental. I just think he had no guidance in his life, and I blame whoever raised this monster. That's it. I'm putting the blame. I'm putting the blame on whoever raised this monster because there was
Yeah,
red flags.
I'm with you, man. Like,
I'm putting the blame on whoever raised this kid. I don't care. Yes, you did it by yourself. You chose to. Yes, yes, you. Yes, yes. If my daughter turned out to be a 304, I put her on that pole. Yes, I did. I didn't give her enough love, or I didn't show her enough love, or I didn't do what I needed to do as a father. I
yeah,
put her up there.
yep.
Yes.
You just have to at that
Yeah.
point.
Are some kids born bad? Yes. Are some kids a bad seed like Jeffrey Dahmer and all that? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Out of 10 of those, I believe is probably one that's probably gonna
Yes.
have.
Right.
I believe it's less than 20%. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I
Yeah.
believe, uh, like you're gonna have a genuine, hardwired psychopath in some cases,
Right.
and I believe you're gonna have um, some that are nurtured into being uh, psychopaths.
Like a perfect example is like you want to use a celebrity like Lawrence Fishburne's daughter does porn,
Yep. Yep.
right? I refuse to believe you're Lawrence Fishburne. Either you
Yep.
weren't in your daughter's life enough, or you didn't give her enough discipline, or you pushed her to the side and squeezed her till she broke. Something you did wrong to make your daughter do what she's doing now with all the wealth and the money that you have. Because let's just face it, the man ain't poor. He's worth like what, 100 and something million.
I've seen, like, and I only counter this because availability is a big key in what you're talking about. Like,
Right.
and it's a high demanding, profession. And then we've also seen though where, You got guys like Lenny Kravitz. I've never seen his daughter caught up in anything like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I think some things are just hit or miss. You know what I'm saying? So like I believe some people make choices. I had a friend of mine. I was on the phone with him the other day, and he's got three daughters. You know, and despite everything that he did, it showed them videos of outcomes, and you know what I'm saying, of based on decision making. You know, of if they choose the wrong guy, and some some daughters are going to go against the grain. Some sons are going to go against the grain. Do I believe
Yeah.
that that's
But
always
then I
been?
have no problem. But you shouldn't have any problem telling them I told you so, right?
Yeah, but that yeah, you definitely can't do it like, and that's the thing. Like, that was what the conversation was about. He said, Vic, he said, man, because the conversation was really about, like the content in the book, and it was a really productive conversation. And he was like,
I
man,
would.
everything in the book that you talk about, and from your platform to, you know what I'm saying, to how it plays into things, that I see it in myself. So I even used it to mentor and coach my own kids, and their generation just doesn't value the same information, and that's kind of the truth with any generation. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think,
Like,
but Vic, I think to relieve me from my duties. Let's say my daughter is old enough, right? And
yeah,
she's doing the poll, or she's a 304, whatever she is doing it. Obviously, it's against my morals and values. I
yeah,
think it would be.
but also
I would
his
take her. Huh?
daughter's of age. I was about to
What was
say
that?
but also his daughter is of age. It's different if
No, no,
they
no. That's what I'm
still.
saying. My daughter's of
Yeah,
age. She's on a pole, or she's walking the streets, or she's doing what she's doing, right? I would take her out for a wonderful dinner, and I would sit her down, and I'd say, all what you're doing is against the morals and value that I taught you. Just let me have closure. Where did I go wrong in failing you in that area? Let me know where I went wrong. I want to know, as a dad, where did I went wrong that made you end up on that pole? Because I'm wealthy enough and I'm have enough money, and you always have a home in my house to not be up there if you need to not pay rent or you can't afford it. So I need to know, where did I go wrong that put you up there? You need to tell me that. I want my daughter or my son or wherever he end up, I want him to tell me where I went wrong, because I'm taking accountability. It's my fault he's on the streets. I tried to help him as much as I can, but I want to know, where in his mind did I go wrong in bringing him up from a little baby to an adult that led him to where he's going in that right now.
mhm.
That's what I would want to know, because I want to be relieved of my duties. So if you're dead, I can just cry and get it over with and say, hey, you know what? I did my best. This is where I went wrong. I couldn't. He's of age to do what he wants to do, or she's of age to do what she wants to do. So when you're dead, I don't have to say I coulda, woulda, shoulda done better, because you told me where I went wrong. That's all I want to know. Like, I don't want to ask these questions after I know the destructive path you're on. I think more parents need to do that, and that might be a morbid and cold way of being, but I want closure for myself, because I'm the one that's going to continue living while I bury your ass.
Man, you know, I at this stage of like age, your mid 40s, like you start the conversations that you have are going to be rooted in things that tie to your mortality a lot more, because we're on the other side of all of our youthful experiences and everything. You either all the way dialed into what you're good at, or you're probably sitting there figuring out what's the next thing that you want to accomplish in life, right? So uh, when I talk to, what I'm saying, like my friends, we're all having conversations. I'm listening to conversations from them about them actually apologizing to their kids now. You know what I'm saying? For what they did and didn't understand. And like, and it's like you could just feel like a shift that's ongoing, you know what I'm saying? At least I can from the people that I know, you know. And it's all people that's wanting to do better. So most people that want to do better are apologizing. You know what I'm saying? Because they need that
Yeah, but those are
absolute
the
truth.
ones that are taking accountability.
Right. Yeah.
You
And
can
I'm
only
and I'm
apologize when you take accountability.
yep. And that's the difference. And it kind of goes back and it reaffirms everything that I'm saying. It's like, you know, without the apology, I know you're being hard on yourself. You know what I'm saying? For a reason that only you can deal with. You know. and when you see the outcome of not doing so, all of this stuff just comes back to people really just being way harder on themselves than they should be, and then they
No,
making
I
other
think
people feel
I
bad.
disagree with you on that. I think people should be hard on themselves. I think you should be able to forgive yourself, but you should be harder on yourself. You should be hard on yourself so you don't end up on the street or doing what you don't. You have to be hard on yourself because that's the only way you're gonna build
Yep.
drive to move forward, man. You can't give yourself a break. You'll have enough time to break when you're dead. You have to keep pushing, pushing, pushing. You know, it's
Yep.
there's a reason that you have to keep moving and keep going forward. I don't believe that men shouldn't be hard. No, you should be hard on yourself. You want so many nice things in life. What do you think you're gonna get that being passive? Like, what are you
Right.
talking about? You're a failure. You should be the first one to kick yourself in the ass. You know what I mean? No, I didn't make you fail. You failed yourself. I gave you life, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like
man. You know.
I think
You know.
I think what it is though is going back to what I was saying. Like what my therapist told me is that he said exactly what you said too. Like be hard on yourself, but just don't be mean to yourself.
Yeah, you don't have to be mean, but you gotta be
Yeah.
hard, man. And you should forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made. You should have no regret about it. You should have no regret about it because regret is failure. No, you don't have any regret because that led whatever you led you to where you are now, right? Could you be sorry? Yeah, I wish the outcome was different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I didn't get caught when I
You could
did
have
that.
handled something different. You could have made a tweak here and there.
Yeah, you could have made a tweak here and there. But I
Yeah.
don't think you should have, if you are in a place of positivity in life, you should have no regrets of your past because that's what led you to where you are now. Because after you committed that murder and you served the time, you ain't commit murder again. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, you have to be, men need to be hard on themselves today because, you got to find a mentor. You got to find people to look after. You got to find positive role models in your life, man. You got to have these people that already paved the way for you, and the people that are successful. You got to ask them, how did you become what you are, and how do you recommend I do it? Because your time was different to my time. So how do you recommend that I do it to end up where you are? Like, I want a good way, and you got to shut up and listen to that person because you don't know. Else, if you did know, you'd be where he is or on your way to where he is.
Yep.
So you're
I
asking
agree
him
with
for a reason, you
you. Yep.
know. And I think that men need to really, really do that. And it's
So
unfortunate. Too much damn
so
ego and pride, bro.
obviously,
Too much damn ego and pride, and it disappoints me. More and more I listen to the social media shit disappoints me.
yeah.
More and more I
And
listen to social media. It disappoints me. I mean, sometimes you listen to these other channels, and why are you guys talking about a stupid topic like that? Like, that's just a dumb topic. Like some of the
yeah,
skits I see.
outside of this platform from week to week, and you know what I'm saying, and you see the engagement in the Facebook group,
Yeah,
the topics that I've been trying to cultivate people to talk about in the Facebook group are much different, are being had much differently across other platforms. Would you say?
yeah, yeah.
Because nobody really, some people want to be entertained, man,
No, that's what it's all
and
about. Views, likes,
yeah,
and making the money.
some
You
people
know what
just
I
want to be
mean? All of them have the answers. I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm going to tell you. I'm not saying I have all the answers, right? Nobody has all the answers, but I'm not going to be a life coach if I never done shit in life. I'm on a YouTube channel, man. Fuck. I'm on a YouTube channel, man.
yeah,
I'm gonna give you my advice that led to where I am now. Like, I'm learning about stocks now. I'm really into it. I'm really, really into it. And I have a
yeah,
friend, and who shall remain. He doesn't even have money, but he's into it, and he's smarter than me at it. And he's telling me what to do, and I'm listening to him, going like, "Holy shit, it's working!" And then I said, "How do you learn all this?" He goes, "Bro, I'm starting to get into it, and I like it." So he's doing all the reading for me and feeding me the information. And I drop my ego, I drop my age, I drop my mentality, I drop my way of thinking, and I'm listening to this guy that's half my age telling me what to invest in, which is the greatest thing. Shout out to him. And then after being in the environment that I have, I get to ask people that are really into it, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And they say, "Where'd you get that from?" "Well, this guy." And so I'm playing so stupid, which I am stupid at stocks, but I'm really learning about it. And that's how people have to be if you want to advance. but you can't operate in this world anymore with your ego and think it's okay to go out and swear at somebody or cut somebody off and go into road rage. And there's cameras everywhere. Big Brother's watching. They probably haven't even read that book, but you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, like the thing is, Big Brother's here. You know, been watching
He's
for a long
here.
time. Yeah, like
Sometimes I think I'm talking on this computer, Vic, and I swear I feel somebody's looking back at me. I swear to
well,
God.
we are
Sometimes I'm
live.
on my iPhone and I'm like, how did you know I just looked over at that little YouTube little
Hey,
little you know what I
everybody's got
mean?
the same experience right now. Like there have been times where I was thinking about something. I got to the point like I don't even say everything out loud, right?
Right.
And I'm thinking it, and then I picked up my phone, and the thing I was thinking about is on my phone for whatever
You know
reason.
what I mean?
And
That'd be
and again, you know, like all of this connectivity with social media, regular media, the news, how fast you and I exchange information, even that story that you were saying, you cannot operate safely in this world by just operating on your ego, or else you're not going to learn something, or you're going to be blindsided by something else. So going back to what you was talking about, like lowering your ego so you can take in new information and be taught the stock stuff, right? Like, can you see this on the screen?
legacy and equality, live a life of service towards community and others. You must be credible and capable
Can,
of
can, you,
voting.
can you read it for me without the cup?
You
You
must
know,
be
like,
receptive and being able to instill knowledge and wisdom to others in the act of submission and privilege. Okay, that's really I like that.
that's what you just described when you was talking about the stock stuff.
There you go. There you go. And you
Legacy
know,
and
and you know, and Vic, you know what kills me? Boy, I can go on forever with this. This is a good topic. You know what kills me the most? Okay, I think with this whole social media thing, you know, I think it's more like people are beginning to feel that they don't need one another, right? Because they can be whoever they want on social media, right?
you're right.
Like a woman doesn't need you to tell her she's beautiful anymore because she can go on social media and show you 12,000 people that think she's beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's justifying her ugliness, right? It's justifying her ugliness, right? So because there's always somebody for somebody, you just can't find them because they ain't in the same city or even probably on the same planet. But anyways, so
Yeah.
that's a false premise right there. But that being said, like I've come to realize after watching social media is I got to be realistic too. I was just having this discussion today with a guy about what kind of woman I want in my life, and he goes, "Dude, you're so unrealistic. You're so picky." I'm like, "What do you mean?"
Where have you heard this? Where
And
have
I'm
you
like,
heard this?
"Wait," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, the girl you want to be with has to check off all the boxes." I go, "No, I just that." First of all, I have to be attracted to you because I'm going to be seeing you for the rest of my life. Second of all, we have to have at least a similar lifestyle because opposites, you know, I don't believe in that opposites attract shit. And third, you have to know your role and I have to know my role. Like, and they were talking like, no, you can't look like that. You have to compromise. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm already set in my ways. I'm at the age where I ain't changing.
But
I'm
guess what?
not changing.
But
I'm not even I don't even think I'm capable of conforming.
you know, this is a great honest moment for you. And I'm seeing it on you. I see the acceptance because this is this is what we've been talking about for 3 years. This is about, you know, I talked about objectivity all the time, right? This is about being able to see your situation from a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's like watching, like in the moment when we're recording this stuff, you're gonna have one conversation. And then when you go back and watch it 2 days from now, it's gonna be like good spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
the season's finally settled in, and then you're like, man, it was good day one, but day two or day three it gets even better. You know what I'm saying? Because everything's, you know what I'm saying, all settled and everything. That's what it takes, bro. That's what life is. You know what I'm saying? Like you enjoy it in a moment, and then you create moments that you can savor when you look back and reflect on it, and then it makes you want to go do repeat certain parts, and certain parts you never want to go back down again. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the point. Is it's like there's a difference between what you write, what you say, what you say when you have multiple people around, and then there's that interpersonal experience. Like if there's things I've probably been able to make a point on that you've gotten over time, but when you have the right engagement in person, it makes everything that you've been talking about clearer. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? I gotta remember I said you gotta change your bait. And you had a moment you're like, "Yeah, you're right, I do, you know. And then when you change your bait, you change, you know what I'm saying, where you fish, you change what maybe the tools you use, you know what I'm saying? Things change, and then you either recognize that, oh man, I've been trying to catch saltwater fish with freshwater bait. You know what I'm saying? So when
But
you
like,
have,
but you can we agree? Like, you know how they say men are supposed to be providers. I personally don't believe that anymore, right?
I believe husbands and fathers are providers. I
I
don't
believe
believe
husband exactly. I was gonna say that. I don't believe
husbands and
men
fathers.
are not providers. Listen, today modern life women have good jobs just as much as men. We are providers. Okay? We are providers. But I believe in a relationship we both serve separate roles, but we are providers. We because you're bringing something to the plate, I'm bringing something. This whole thing with the woman stays home and cooks and those days are gone. Leave It to Beaver was a long time ago. I mean, men are cooking today. Top chefs are men. I mean, I don't need a woman to cook for me because none of us are really sitting down at a table all at the same time with the dinner in the center, and nobody's doing that. Kids are taking their meal down to their TV and room, and I mean, we try to bring that
I believe
family.
I believe that that traditional, you know, like format is not feasible for people that are in the middle of their prime with their craft. Like you're really focused on what you're doing. You're not you don't have you're not at a point in your life where you can say, you know what, I want to shift from the brush to dealing with, you know what I'm saying, a family completely. Like I think a lot of times people trying to have things that they're not prepared to have. You know what I'm saying? Because all of that stuff that you're talking about, it still exists, but it's not in your present world because
I
of
don't
what
think
you're trying.
I really don't think that exists. I
I
really
know
don't
it
think that.
exists because I know it exists because I have friends that are really set up that way. You know what I'm
Yeah, but
saying? I
that's I
know
don't believe. I believe that it happens. I don't believe the general statement anymore. I
it's
don't
not.
believe
No,
that.
it's not. No, of course not. Because
You know
more
what I
people
mean?
want to talk about. Because more people are focused on the competitive stuff that makes men and women compete with each other instead of complimenting each other. But that's
Exactly.
on social media. The traditional household definitely doesn't exist. But off of
Right.
social media,
I just that's what I'm trying to say. I just you know what I mean? It exists listen, it existed when I was growing up, but I wouldn't raise my kid. I would raise my kid like it would happen. I would say, okay, we have dinner nights definitely on a Friday and Saturday, but I wouldn't make it through the whole week, right?
no,
Before it used to be through the whole week. After you come home from school, you wash your hands and then you go you do your eat and then you go do your homework shit. Those days are gone, right? I believe that, okay, listen, Saturday and Sunday, you guys have to be here for dinner. You can do what you want after that because it's party time. You have no school the next day, but Saturday and Sunday, you're going to be here for dinner. Stuff like that. But I don't, people looking for this, I'm the leader and I lead the family and give me a break. You ain't leading shit. $45,000 a year, you're combining your salary with your wife, with your boat leading. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, in that case, in most cases, that's where the fault line is. Most people that's making the same amount of money don't see the value in
You
putting
have a
money together.
role.
Yeah,
You have a
and
role,
most
man.
people, yeah, like, see, man, look, Uncle Junior said it exists in his home. You know,
Hey,
hey,
no, but like he said, it exists in his home, but he don't have no kids.
but,
He don't have no kids.
he don't have any
I'd be
kids
having
that,
dinner with my wife. I'd be having dinner with my wife too. I mean,
but
I'm talking about
that,
traditional growing up, getting off the school bus. Everybody drives their kids to school now.
Yeah,
You ain't no school bus. That's what I'm talking about. I grew up with a school bus. Ain't nobody doing that.
man.
Come on now. Let's tell it like it is. Ain't no school bus no more.
I
Kids
would
don't even
say
want to sit around a table.
I don't think what I would say is this: the traditional household that you're talking about, it's a geographical thing too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not happening in most metropolises. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody, like you live in Beverly Hills, right? So you're not going to see that in Beverly Hills. If you lived in New York City and you lived in Manhattan, you're not going to see that in Manhattan like that, you know. But out here in Texas, it happens, and it just depends on what type of community that you're around too. You know, it happens a lot around military installations because, generally speaking, the military installations have more family centric, um, like community around it because the veteran is very important to the household. The veteran is the reason why the family, you know what I'm saying, is able to focus on itself. You know what I'm saying? The women that are able to stay at home and see about the kids and stuff like that is because of the veterans. So I see a lot of traditional households.
Oh, that way, yes.
Yeah.
That way, yes. The way you're
Yeah,
describing
in,
it.
in my community, in my community, as far as like most of my friends are veterans, the traditional household definitely exists. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody has a role in that format. But I definitely understand, like from what you see, like you're around creators and entertainers and you know what I'm saying, and whatever else you're doing, and then your zip code economically doesn't set the format for a traditional household to work off one income.
Right. Right. We can agree on that.
So like you always have to take those variables into consideration too, because you know what I'm saying, where you live has an impact on what type of household you have.
You know what I mean?
So,
It's like. See that it all boils down to around sexual discipline, like you say, man. It really does because you have to. I just think that if you're who you are, you have to really, really vet who you're gonna end up with, man. Today,
it's important, man. Like
it's so important, man.
Because if you can create life, you can create chaos.
Yes,
that's what it is, man.
I think like especially women today because they hold the key to the family, right? They do. The women hold the key to the family. You ain't doing nothing as yourself as a man. A woman could go out and have a child.
Women got the lock. I think women got the lock and men got the key.
I think women got it all because they don't need you if they got a sperm bank out there willing and they can pay the right price. So they don't need you. They don't need men like that. But they don't need men like that. If a woman can afford a sperm bank, 20 grand, she's good. She's good. She's gonna get the kid.
Where's the sperm coming from?
Huh?
Where's the sperm coming from?
What men get what $1,200 if you donate sperm and all that shit to these? They get money for it.
You still need men. They don't need men in the capacity to be a head of household.
Right. So I just when we look at that news reporter that could openly say she can't get with his truck driver, now she's pregnant. She went to get it over.
Hey, she's still
that's a perfect example. That's a perfect example.
Yep.
Okay, now that's going to be one pussified kid. Let me tell you, that's going to be one seriously pussified kid. All right, let's be real. That kid is not growing up with balls. If he's a boy, all right, he's going to be an Aphrodite, some shit, because he's going to be messed up in the head. Hey, mom, where's my dad? I don't know. He was one of the test tubes. I don't know which one, but he was a test tube. All right, how do you explain that to your child? I would love to know how you're going to explain that to your child. I walked in and yes, son, and I got knocked up by a tube, and I have no idea where you came from. Heinz 57. What do you want me to tell you? Fuck, I don't know, right? So that's one messed up kid right off the bat. I don't care what you tell me. Could you imagine a kid on the playground? Hey, where's your dad? I don't have one. What do you mean you don't have one? Yeah, last time I checked, my mom said he came from a hospital and inside a tube. Okay. That's the new norm, right? I would love to hear that. I would love to be a fly on the wall for that story, right? And she's an embarrassment to herself. Imagine you're beautiful, educated, rich, and wealthy, and you couldn't get a man. Not even a bus driver. You couldn't get one. And I don't believe. I believe the bus driver didn't. I believe she got rejected from a bus driver. I really believe she got rejected from a bus driver because she put on that ego shit. And the bus driver said, "Who are you?" That's what I believe. I really believe this woman got rejected by a man lower than her in as far as financial status. I really believe that. And she just went on this rampage. Like I can't get me a high value man because I'm too old, and now I'm getting rejected from a man that's not even in my financial demographic. And I believe that's why I really believe cold-heartedly. It's not that she didn't want to be with a bus driver. I believe the bus driver didn't want to be with her because
Yeah,
they
and
saw her.
like
Huh?
you think she just outright rejected, or do you
I
think
think she got rejected by a man that was less financially than her, and that pissed her off. Like now she can't even get a man beneath her in her mind. That's what I believe triggered her. It's not that she can't get a bus driver. I believe the bus driver didn't want her. You know, I believe that because it's easy. It's easy to say. It's hard to say you were rejected.
you
It's hard.
basically, honestly, like men have to make a decision on whether or not they want to be emasculated or not. You know what I'm saying? It
But men
makes you.
are. But we're talking men here. Men don't get emasculated. Real men don't get emasculated.
I understand. What I'm saying is this: the men that would be interested in women like that are ready to risk emasculation to be in a relationship with women that behave that way. Like the the amount of adjustment that you would have to make to be with a woman that functions that way would be unnatural for most men. So
Right.
with you
No
saying
man would really. No man would entertain that,
a
and rightfully
self-respecting man,
so.
yeah, most
And I
most men
believe.
that
I believe the bus driver didn't want to entertain it, and she went off on him. I seriously believe she gave a bus driver a chance, and he wouldn't entertain her attitude, and he rejected it. He goes, I don't need you. I go find the man you want. That's what did it for her.
he
That's what I
probably told
truly
her
believe. Huh?
he probably told her to go catch the bus and find
Yeah. You know what I mean? Kiss my bus ass. I don't give a shit. I don't need you. You can take your money and you can take your attitude and you take your good looks because she ain't ugly. You can take that and go somewhere. I'm not even going to call her ugly because she's not an ugly woman. Once she opens her mouth, she's ugly. But other than that,
man. Look, we have
and that
reached.
I truly believe that, and I think that's what started all this. It's not that she couldn't get the bus; she wouldn't date a bus driver. The bus driver rejected her. That's what the real story is, and she knows it.
Man,
She knows it. You know,
Antoine, I
a lot
want
of
you
these
to
women out there can find love. I believe a lot of these women out there can find love. I believe a lot of these black women can find love. I just believe they're not willing to accept what's looking back at them in the mirror, and what they're looking back at the mirror is what is looking better to them than what people really see them for, right? So they think their standards is high, and that's it. And I think what men are doing wrong is men know they can't afford the dime, and they're not willing to settle for what they can afford. I really believe that because dimes cost money, and men can't afford it. So what do? They go off on the pretty girl. Oh, who do you think? And they go off on the pretty girl. That's what I truly believe. I truly believe that. Take it for
you
what
think
it's
it's
worth.
do you think it's solvable?
Do I think? Yeah, I think once men get their money and game up, looks and height goes out the window. And I think when women reach the wall and they realize, you know what, the toy ain't doing it anymore, like they gotta lower them standards. Life's showing them otherwise.
Do you think that men and women can forgive each other? You know what I'm saying, and quit being hard enough on themselves and mean to themselves to be able to apologize to each other. 'Cause that's what it's really gonna have to take. That's my opinion. Because
Well,
I don't have.
you think men and women? Wait a minute, are you talking in black community?
Yeah, I'm just saying in general. I'm not putting
Oh,
any type.
because
I'm not.
that's a
I'm not.
done deal in that area, right?
I am not going there.
Oh, okay. Because if
I'm just saying
that's
because
done in the black community. That's done.
yeah,
That war is. You better put that machine gun on. That war is over. That war. Yeah, that's done. Done deal. That's over. But black men and black women ain't coming together no more. They're making too much money arguing separately on YouTube.
that's a very. I like what you're saying right there. Like not the fact that it's not coming back together, but the fact that it's too much money involved in the argument.
Keeping them apart. Yeah. Yeah.
They've monetized the beef. You know what I'm
Whew,
saying?
come
So
on, that's all you hear. That's all the talking points
that
is.
very much so because even on regurgitated talking points, they're just a bunch of panels where men and women are just disagreeing.
Yeah. And they love that shit. They eat it up. And it's like they think they're making progress, and there's no progress being made. No progress. If anything, you're damaging the image. You're damaging the image. And I just think the hatred between black men and black women run too deep. I'm sorry, it runs too deep,
You
bro.
think the damage is done, huh?
The damage is, bro. Listen, the passport bro started for a reason. The damage is done. I even think black women should date out. Shit, they become better women when they date out.
I would agree if they were. Who do you think is more likely to date black women from outside the race? Though?
No one. Why would you? I
Next
mean,
one doesn't.
you'd have to
What's
smile. You'd have to smile.
hey?
That would take effort. You know,
Next one says out the smile, man. Like
you have to smile. You'd have to smile for someone to be entertained, to entertain someone. You'd have to smile. That would take effort. That hard face wouldn't cut. That hard face wouldn't cut it. Why would? If I'm a successful man, why would I approach that yesterday's newspaper? Like, why? Like, why? I'm there along. I'm chugging along. I did good on the stock market. I'm walking down with my briefcase. My jacket is over my shoulder, and I see you coming and looking like you want to kill me. Shit, I'm crossing the street. As strong as I am, I'm crossing the street. I want no trouble.
Well,
I think it's. I think when black women date white men, they become better women. I think they become more fit, more feminine. I think they smile more. They smell better. I think they do better. The hygiene improves. I think that they know they can. I know that they know Brad can bring that ratchet shit home to his mother. I think they do better. I think they're in training when they date a white guy. Because then after that, when they go back to the black guy has to pass a certain level that he should be at. So they actually got upgraded. Because the white guy is not marrying them. He's having his fun. It's like sushi. I'm gonna try it. But after they're done with that white guy, they finished school, they graduated, they got their diploma, they know what to look for in a man. And that man, that black guy, should be doing what that white guy did. Except he's able to bring it home to mama. That's the only difference. Absolutely. I think more black women need to date out. Are you kidding me? And take an etiquette class while you're out there. Oh shit, yes. I think they should leave black men alone. I think they should leave all those players alone. I think when they see a black guy coming, they should cross the street to the white guy. That's how I really feel. 100%. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because they become better women. I never seen them smile so much. When you go on TikTok, what do they say? Look what my man got me. Ladies, time to trade up. If our men don't do it for us. I agree. It's not like you're getting married and having kids on this side anyway.
I'm looking for a video for you.
Man, let's be real. I mean, I'm calling it like it is. You don't like it, too bad. I don't care what you say. I'm telling you the truth, and they know I'm telling you the truth.
Hey,
are you kidding me right now? Look,
hold on, man.
A black woman would do herself best dating a white guy, especially the way black men are today. Absolutely.
Woo. I'm gonna find you a video. I need your input on, man, because that is
because after he doesn't marry her, she'd be set to marry. Whew.
I got something for you to watch, man. Hang on a second, because I was about to end the show real quick, but I want to get your take on this real quick before we go. And matter of fact, this is a lead. We'll consider this a lead in to next week. How about that?
To oblige. So this is the top tier white. This is the pasta and lobster. This is the most sought after. You got money, you got status, you got class, things like that. These are the blacks that can get them. She's normally going to be well educated, got class, body 10, looks 10, all that. Here's something that y'all be missing. Well connected. It's not just about it's about the circles that she move in and who she knows. And because this is a time and place thing. This is a total time and place thing, because this is not, even with all this, that's not his norm. That's not his norm. That has to be a time and place. My dad always says, Pretty girl is everybody's type.
Y'all
So
go
if you
follow
gorgeous, you
JoJo
pretty,
Inspire
time and
on
place,
TikTok.
yeah, perfect. Let's go to what actually usually happens though. Let's go. So here's the top ones right here. You got the wigger. He's very black in everything but his skin tone. You got the average Joe. He's normally a 5 out of 10 in everything. 5 out of 10 in looks, 5 out of 10 in money, 5 out of 10. But here's the wild part. If he dates a white girl, she probably be like his level. But when he dates a black girl, he always wants her a little higher level. So when he dates a black girl, he's gonna want like a 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10. But he's usually typical in all that. That's why it's like before I met my wife, this what it was, and this is how I am now. Where she has to literally upgrade him. So that's another one. This is one of the crowd favorites. You got the pseudo intellectual. He normally goes for the really skinny, dark skinned girls. But he's normally intelligent, well thought out, maybe counterculture, things like that. Old white men, love it, love it. They trying to figure out what that's about. They trying to figure out the hype. They missed out on. They trying to figure it out. Then you have the standard white. But let's talk about him first. This is the anime nerd. He normally dates all white, all black girls. That's normally his thing. This is him, and this is also him. He could be either of these Monday through Friday. He normally doesn't care about what level the girl's at. He don't really care about her looks. On she cool and she's normally all black chick. So this is the standard white. Okay, he's not an average Joe. Maybe he's above average. This is what he says in college. I've heard this 1,000 times. I would have sex with a black girl, but I'll never marry her, which is fine.
There you go.
So this is his fate. She's gonna divorce him. He's gonna be divorced like twice. I already talked about this. But if you've ever talked to them about this, they be acting like it's euphoric when they destroy their homes. They literally act like, oh man, you won't believe, I just had to find myself. I just really had to find myself. I woke up one day and I asked myself, I said, Susan, is this really where you want to be? You got to find your person. She's going to talk about divorce like it's some magical, beautiful place. Like, it was such a dark place for me. And then I just came out and I was renewed. And like, she's going to divorce probably like 2-3 times. But yes, that's how she speaks about it. You know what? She speaks about it so crazy. She had me wanting a divorce and I'm not even married. I was like, dang, I'm trying to figure out what that's like. Okay, but anyway, he's going to end up in the Philippines. Okay? But he'll date a black girl before he gets there. So this in between, he'll go ahead and date, he'll be in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to say, guys, and I'm just going to leave off on this. We got to leave the pasta and lobster comments. Like, leave that alone. It's looking wild. It's starting to look wild. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of wild for this photo, but it's looking nuts, guys. It's starting to look thirsty. It's starting to look like, yeah, just be subtle about it. Keep it cute. Y'all doing too much. Y'all all in the white dudes comments. You like black girls and all that. Come on, man. And then not only that, be honest, we moving like this right now. We moving like this. I just got to do this PSA. I love us, so I got to say this. We moving like this, right? And we're like, oh, yeah, F them. And then somebody sit here like, yeah. And then they're like, yeah, they trash. And somebody's like, yeah. And then you're like, yeah, we don't need them. Ain't doing 50-50, which I wouldn't either. Okay, we're just talking, right? And somebody's like, yeah. Then we look and see who's saying yeah, and it's her. Now, this is the wild part. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with her agreeing with us completely on everything we're doing right now. But I'm saying it's a yellow flag. I'm not going to say it's red, but I'm going to say it's yellow. Because when you get to really having a conversation with them, they're like, yeah, us and black girls, we all want the same thing, right? And I'm sitting thinking in my mind, I don't think we do. I don't think I want the same thing as you. Now that I think about it, I really don't think we do. So anytime she agreeing with every move we make and everything we doing, we gotta do caution to that. Look, all women want the same thing, right? We want that money, we want that respect, and we want that love from our peers, our people, our family. We all want the same thing, right? We moving like this to get it. You moving like this, you on the first date. Oh yeah, don't do 50-50, I don't do that. All that could be true, and I'm with you, right? But it's subtlety. Women always move with subtlety, man. The art of manipulation is someone believes something without knowing where it came from. He can't think, you put the thought in their head, and he think it's his thought. How you gonna do that when you strong arming? This is what we look like right now, guys. I'm gonna be real. This is how we look. We gotta shape up, bro. I'm just telling y'all because I love us, bro.
Oh boy.
good. We gotta move different.
I'm looking for a yellow bone, long hair star.
Okay, you got.
What do you think of that?
She hit some good points, man. She hit some good points. I love it. She hit some good points, bro. Yeah. Listen, man.
I figured you could appreciate that.
Yeah, I could have. She hit some good points, and I, in some areas I agree with her 100%. And I think that's the best way to go.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Hold that thought for next week, and
Okay.
we will.
Okay.
We'll do a show on that. Let's. Like I'm interested to see how you would lead that conversation from.
I'll tell you like it is. It's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm telling you facts. I'm not telling you my feelings. I'm telling you facts. I'm not telling you my feelings. I'm not. Listen, I'll leave it on this. Okay? Black women hold black men at a higher standard to do more than they do the white man. They would go more 50-50 with the white man, feeling that there's a more honest guarantee at the end of the tunnel than they would with a black man. That's a fact. That ain't me. They say that enough.
Well,
right? I just don't get in on that.
It doesn't get more plain than that. Hey, tune in next week. This has been a great episode.
Oh, it's gonna be interesting next week because I'm gonna bring my own little headlines.
Yeah. Hey, look, if you got some clips that
if you coming at me, don't come with your feelings. Don't come with I feel like. I can't stand when people say that. I feel like. I don't care what you feel like. How about that? I don't care what you feel like. Let's talk about what is, not what you feel like. What is, all right? And if you're gonna say something or you're gonna quote me, just cross your T's and dot your I's and form a damn sentence. That's all.
Antoine has said what he said, and I have spoken what I've spoken. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Code Talk. Next week, we'll be here for another discussion about what is.